Take two. Confidants. Welcome to Confidently Insecure, the podcast where we're absolutely sure we don't know everything. This is your host, Zach Nui Towers.
And this is your host, Kelsey, Darragh.
And this episode is a fun one. We're introducing a new format of episode because, like Confidants, you love Host Throughout History. You know when you see that HTH in the title, you know we doing a Host Throughout History. We're introducing a new one where, Zach, when I asked you to be co-host, I was fearful about losing one aspect of the podcast, which was that we had
the intelligence,
lost the ability to bring on experts. You hear us every episode saying, don't Google it.
Don't Google it.
But I figured if we're going to do some science-y episodes where we're teaching you guys things, we should have like an episode like hashtag or something.
Almost like a warning for those listeners who, like me, don't like to learn ever.
Stop. So we're introducing, Zach came up with this. If you have a better idea, let us know. It's called L to L.
Yeah.
Love to learn.
Love to learn. She said it had to be short.
Yeah.
And had to explain what it was.
Yeah, we do
and
love.
You had put HTH in my head. So I was like, HTH,
Got
L2L.
Basically, this is just a type of episode where we're really, I've or Zach have done research and like fact checked things so that we can teach you something interesting.
Speaking of, someone like yelled at me in my DMs. Not yelled, but they did a compliment sandwich where they started out saying something nice, and that's why I was reading it. And they're like, but you guys got all sorts of things wrong.
What did we get wrong?
It was a lot about like the mind to body orgasm stuff.
What?
Yeah, I'll show it to you later.
Wait, but what was the gist?
I stopped reading when I saw it was negative feedback.
I love that you're just picking and choosing the type of feedback you're getting.
This is the thing. For me, I'm comedian first, like, and that's why I say don't Google it, because it's like I'm not here to like really educate anyone. I'm here to like have a good time and laugh. Yeah.
That's like the goal of this podcast.
So of course there's always going to be a specialist who's like, actually, you were wrong about it's actually 6%, not 5%, and it's like I don't have the capacity to take that.
I find it interesting too that they wrote to you and not me.
That is interesting. Maybe they're just hitting on me.
Probably.
And I didn't get to that part.
How's your week? How are you doing?
My week is okay. You know what's scary?
What?
And okay, do you ever do this when you can't remember something? You're like, oh, I have early onset Alzheimer's.
Probably.
I can't remember what. Like the fact that it's Saturday does not make any sense to me.
Correct. This whole week was blank.
It was blank. I don't know if it was the rain kept washing the slate. Oh, I saw the new Scream. And I really liked it.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't love it, but I really liked it.
Okay, that's high praise coming from you as a horror queen.
Yeah. I love comedy horror comedy. And that's Scream. They could make Scream until they're in an old folks home.
And you'd be watching.
Or until the killer is climate change. And I would still watch.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And it reminded me that I watched a horror thriller. You would have been proud of me.
What'd you
It
watch?
was called Piggy. It's from Sundance this
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, it's like a bloody woman on the cover.
Yes. Did you watch?
No.
You're going to love. It's a foreign language film.
Is it funny?
Unintentionally.
Oh. I don't really like dark, and that felt dark to me.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of dark, but I liked it. I was like, ooh, this is like I don't like any of this shit.
I know.
You know why? Because there was nothing that popped out.
Oh, you hate.
I hate
being scared. There are movies that rely solely on that. It's like the Conjuring universe. It's all jump scares. It's out of the dark.
I'm a highly sensitive person.
Yeah.
But you said something else that made me think. Oh, speaking of horror comedy, my week consisted of being in the emergency room. I was with Sir. Yes. Y'all know. He got a foot infection that they were afraid was getting into his bloodstream. We had to go to the emergency room. He didn't have anyone. You know, his family lives in another area. So I went, being a good primary partner.
Oh, my God.
And was hanging out in the
She canceled on me to do this. So, like.
I did.
I had my.
Dick is nice.
I had my quiet hissy fit moment. And I was like, oh, no. Sir is in need of medical, emotional, and physical support. This is not about you.
This is not about you.
You know, you have to like talk yourself like,
yeah.
And you don't say anything. I'm saying it now, but like it's like you normally just like,
yeah. Oh, they're like
important.
Yes.
And also, I know you so well by now. Like you don't cancel. You don't like.
So especially work stuff.
It's
I
like
don't
real.
cancel.
Like I'm like
And we were the real reason why you were sad is because we were supposed to watch Clueless together.
Thank you for getting to the
You're
bottom
welcome.
of the real issue.
Yes, we were supposed to watch Clueless.
Kelsey has never seen Clueless.
They know.
That's so embarrassing for you.
You know what's not embarrassing for me? Okay, you took too long.
I mean, I couldn't think of anything that was not embarrassing for you.
That we have new stickers.
What a great segue.
That is not embarrassing to me because they are so cute. Confidants. They are $2.99 for like cut dye. They are waterproof. You can stick them on your water bottle, on your lappy top. One is a smiley face whose little mouth says confidently insecure.
What about the lap bottoms out there?
That took too long.
I was letting you finish your sentence.
Oh my God.
Okay, yes, get a sticker. Get 10 stickers. They make the perfect stocking stuffer.
In March.
You should. Okay, here is actually a hack.
Okay.
I Christmas shop year round. Anytime. Anytime I see something that I know
a friend would like. You do buy presents.
My core gifts are getting, it's a smaller and smaller group every year.
Honored.
But like, yes. But like if I see something in March that Kelsey would like,
I'll give one.
I get it.
Yeah.
I either give it to her immediately and like Christmas all year or put it in the closet.
He's definitely come to my house and been like, do you want this? And it makes me think that he found it like in the garbage, but he's gone out and bought something nice.
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
like I've seen something or like something just like regular. You know, not even that nice, but it's like, I think Kelsey would like this.
I love that your love language is gift giving because I'm usually the one that's a big gift giver. So it's nice to receive a treat.
Mine's quality time, actually.
Surprise.
Wait, but stickers.
Go get a sticker.
If
They're $2.99.
If you love anyone, they should get a sticker.
Yeah. And guys, it helps support the podcast because there has been a giant dip in the podcasting world. This is like too inside baseball, but
there's also a world in which Zach Nui Towers has caused the dip. Maybe people were tuning in for the education of it all, and they're like, this person with an 8th grade education does not resonate with me.
Zach, that's why we're doing L2L. We love to learn. No, okay. But before we get into today's episode topic, which I'm sure by the title you guys are very confused, should we do our TikTok Taught Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Mine, I'm heavily in finance TikTok or like money fic talk.
Fin talk.
Mick-mock. Money TikTok. And I'm like all about like people who are trying to become like millionaires.
Ooh.
And it's like, first of all, it's never get rich fast. It's get rich slow.
I like that.
That's how you do it. Man, now I have so many things. Okay, but these were like, it was like 3 or 4 practices that this person does. And the first is stop using a debit card.
Yes,
Use
I
your
stopped
credit
doing
card.
that.
See, I've been
years
using,
ago.
I use half and half because part of me is like, I like when the money is gone immediately from the account because then I check my credit card. I'm like, $1,800.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's cute.
But like, really?
My butthole just shuddered when you said 1,800.
It shuddered in a good way?
No, in a bad way.
Oh, wait, but you think mine's high?
No.
Okay,
yours is
yeah.
so low.
Oh, yeah. So my butthole shudders in a good way. Okay. So only use your credit card. It takes your money further. You get points.
Yeah.
Always pay it off.
Yes, every month.
It should be 0.
Every month.
0. And you should set it up so
auto pay.
Yes. So you pay your statement balance, that goes away, and you already have another little balance because that builds your credit.
Yeah.
And then you get points. So that was one of them. And then a fucking IRA. Have we already talked about IRAs?
Roth IRAs?
Yeah, it's like, or regular, traditional. It's a retirement account.
Pre-taxed money.
So that's the difference between them. So if you do a traditional IRA, you actually deduct that from what you made that year.
What do you mean you deduct it?
Like it helps on your taxes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. So like you can put up to $6,000. This year it's $6,500. But every year you can put $6,000 and that comes off of your gross income.
That I hope my tax guy did that.
So the difference is a Roth IRA is post. Yeah. It's like it is taxed when you put it in. So the difference is at the end when you're 60 or whatever, you either get taxed then with the traditional or that's what you have.
But there is something to be said where if you're taking it or if you're leaving it in a traditional but you're writing it off, does that like balance it out?
So 2 things. Yes, it does because it's helped me every year because it's like, oh, you actually didn't make, blank money. You made blank minus $6,000. But the other thing is like with investing, you want it to be the biggest number possible because every year it grows. So you have a bigger number in there growing. Yeah.
Why do I have a raw thyroid?
I mean, there's it's appealing for both ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll speak to my man about that's a good one.
Yeah.
TTT.
Yeah.
Tickety talk talk talk. See TikTok guys. That's where you should be getting your educational information from, not us.
You.
We're not experts. We're here to ask the stupid questions.
Yes, and give you the stupid answers.
My TikTok taught me is kind of like, it made me cry when I heard it on TikTok.
In like a beautiful way?
Yes. So this is from at Dirty Mother Pucka. I think it's a podcast actually. So it was two women talking. One of them had a miscarriage. And another one I think had as well, but she was like an educator about miscarriages.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, when you have a miscarriage, there is this thing that happens called microchimerism. I think I'm saying that wrong, but don't Google it. Basically, when the fetus or the baby is passing through during the miscarriage, it uses its stem cells to try and fix or heal whatever happened to cause a miscarriage. So it's literally almost always putting its DNA inside of you. So it was saying, like, even if you have a miscarriage, the baby never really leaves you.
Oh.
Isn't that so sweet?
Yes.
Especially if you have like a boy and you're a woman and it's like, you know, you don't know what that's like to have a little.
Well, there's an extension of this. Isn't it that like, okay, I've heard this. Don't Google it. Or maybe do. I'm just not saying it's fact, but girls absorb some of the DNA when guys come in them. So like you have like a little bit of all of your raw dog partners in you.
I hate that for me.
Well, it's the same thing as what you just said, except it's a baby. The cum is a baby.
We need to. That would reverse Uno the cuteness of what I just said. So let's Google that. Somebody.
Reverse Uno.
And then I had a second one that was incredible.
Cum or a baby? Go on.
This one I learned from at Madam Sweat. She's a older woman who talks about like all bodily function sweat things. And if you are someone like me who has suffered from razor burn their entire lives, a very pale, pasty white, sensitive skin, especially around my coochie area.
Yeah.
Always razor burn. Always razor bumps. Always, always, always.
Okay.
She said to buy vegetable glycerin. And I thought to myself,
I already don't know what that is.
I don't know
like
what it is either.
The spray oil?
It comes out as like a shampoo bottle.
Oh, it's not a food.
I have no idea what it is.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
it's vegetable glycerin.
Okay.
And it creates like a barrier between, it absorbs moisture in the air. So a lot of people also use it for their skin as like an alternative to hyaluronic acid.
Oh.
Because it keeps everything really moisturized. And I said, I'm going to try this on my bussy. And I shaved, and I before and during and after I put vegetable glycerin all over my puss, not a single bump.
Stop.
I woke up this morning like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wait, really?
Yes.
No delayed.
The one that I like had on my bikini line, I'd already had from last time I shaved. Other than that, this is a problem I've had my whole life.
Wait, do you wax ever?
Never once have I ever waxed.
Wait, why?
Terrified of the feeling.
Oh, Kelsey.
I'm terrified of it.
Kelsey.
Did you miss the part where I have sensitive skin and I'm an HSP?
Kelsey.
What? Have you
What's
waxed?
an HSP? Yes.
Highly sensitive person.
Oh, okay.
The feeling?
First of all, you're not afraid of things.
Yes, I am. I'm afraid of a lot of things.
Not really.
I don't like being scared.
You're afraid of being afraid?
Yeah, it's like getting a panic attack about the panic attack.
You are... We gotta give you a doggy Xanax and go.
You make this sound like it'll be a fun adventure between
friends.
It will.
It'll at least be good content. I'll film.
No, so there was a BuzzFeed group called Ladylike, and they did lady things, and they asked me to be in the one where it shaved, or we tried waxing for the first time, and I fucking literally pussied out. I got on the table, they like spread my legs open, I was ready to do it, and I went, I can't do this. I can't do it. Just like getting my eyebrows waxed hurts, and I could not imagine that 10 times.
First of all, I think you can use like a localized anesthetic like lotion.
Okay.
Kelsey.
What?
If you wax, it starts to like damage the hair, and then it gets finer and thinner.
I would rather laser.
Okay. So laser then.
I'm gonna bust out my old anyway. Okay.
You have a laser here?
Yeah, it's like a
in your
handheld
home?
one. Yeah, it's like handheld in it.
Is it registered?
With what? The gun police?
The government. I don't know.
Why would I need to register my pussy laser?
Because
it's dangerous.
It's a weapon of mass destruction.
I'll show it to you when we're done.
Okay.
Wow, that was TikTok taught me. How exciting was that?
I mean, I loved it.
Okay, good.
I feel like I have all my babies with me.
Ew. Should we move on to our dating no filter?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play the voice note for us. It comes from.
And you're just gonna put it in front of the microphone?
Yes. I don't know if this person wanted me to say their name, so I'm not going to, just in case, unless she says it. Okay, here it goes. Dating no filter.
Hey, Zach, I need help. My name's Kendall. I am 24 and I'm dating a 33-year-old man who I've pined after for like 5 years. But he is my first time ever doing anything sexual. And I'm having a great time. Obviously, it's wonderful. But I have a hard time feeling like I'm inadequate or like I'm like I don't know what I'm doing. So how do I prevent those feelings from like impacting our relationship and our sexual relationship and my confidence? I guess he's obviously wonderful and like would never hesitate to answer a question or to ask to do something new. But I have a really hard time with feeling like I'm doing something wrong. There's also probably some religious trauma there, but that's another episode. Love y'all. Bye.
Oh my God, that was so fun.
Kendall, she sounds so sweet and fun.
She's also online right now. Should we just FaceTime?
I mean, you
and
could.
like live answer her question.
You're gonna scare the crap out of her. But
I know. I'm
might as well
scared. Okay, let's try it. Okay, we're gonna forgive us if you guys cannot. You guys might not be able to hear it. Also, I've never like called some. I've done this once.
What a scary perspective. No, I'm kidding. Put it by the mic. I don't think I've ever called someone on Instagram. Wow, she's She's sending us to. Is there Instagram voicemail?
I don't know. Let's see.
I would be so. Okay, have you heard that it's
Kendall?
Oh my God. Hold on. I gotta turn off my Roomba.
she has to turn off her Roomba.
Kendall, welcome to the podcast.
Look at Kendall running. She's running. How big is your house, girl?
I know. You making money, honey.
Oh, it's my roommates. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh, cute. Guess what? We wanted to answer your question live on the pod. We listened to it. We loved it. And we were like, we saw that you were online. And I was like, wait, should we just call her?
Oh my God. I love it. Okay. Yes.
First of all, congratulations on all your sexual adventures. So proud of you. Love that you picked someone that is non-judgmental and feels safe. And that's so cool. Your question was about how to get rid of essentially imposter syndrome.
Yeah, pussy imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Now, is there anything specific you want us to know that you have imposter syndrome about, or just generally like anything once you get the gears going?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up super religious and being told that, quote, all boys just want to stick it. So, like, those are the word for word what my mom would say. And when it's fair enough. And when it came time for me to start, I kind of got over the religious trauma of sex is a bad thing. And then when I got past that, it was like I had all these mental blockers of like, oh, it's not like the movies. It's not magical. It's not this, like, crazy passion ripping my clothes off all the time thing. What am I doing wrong? And I think the age gap probably has a lot to do with it, not just biologically, but like experientially speaking.
Yeah.
There's not much he hasn't done. Whereas I'm Princess Jasmine. That's a whole new world for me.
Okay, don't be funnier than us.
Yeah,
that's kind of a rule on the pod.
But I think it's just more general in that I never know what I'm doing right or wrong. And of course, he's always like, you're doing great, sweetie. But it's hard to get out of your own head in those moments.
Mm-hmm. That totally makes sense, because this reminds me of the time when I first started being sexually active and feeling like I was just following their lead and like trying stuff I had seen in porn. And I did that for way too fucking long. And so it's gonna sound so lame, but this is what changed sex for me, because I love that movie feeling that you kind of talked about, like like I'm having that all the time right now with someone that I am so painfully communicative with, that's how it's able to be so passionate, versus like if I'm sleeping with someone that's sort of like a one night stand, or we don't really take the time to really communicate about what feels good.
Yeah.
Then it's a little bit more like clunky, just like by the book, sexy time, which is not what I particularly want. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just want someone to throw me across the room and bone me.
Which is what I'm here for.
So my advice would be, and it's going to sound lame, but I promise it's actually super hot. We do this thing where we sit on the bed naked, cross-legged, and we stare at each other's eyes for 2 minutes and just like intensely look at each other. And like you can touch, you can like reach and like do certain things, but we try not to talk, and we try just to like feel into our bodies and like what feels good right now. And if you want something, you say something. So if you're like, I want you to kiss my neck, or like I want you to like grab my butt, and then like it forces you to get more comfortable with asking for what you want that feels good, even if you don't know. It's just like in that moment, if all of a sudden you're like, fucking bite my clit, you just say that.
Which is what I say all the time. Bite my clit. Well, I feel also stupid being like the 30-something man in the room giving the advice.
Gay man.
But I will say, like, I've slept with thousands of people, and I still find myself feeling insecure, like periodically. Like there is like it's hard not to, I think, especially if you kind of like do like the person, or you like want to like make sure they're having a good time, then you're making sure you're having a good time. I still find myself in my head sometimes. So I think it's a patience thing, honestly. And you're like in like the perfect situation where just like you have a person that you respect and are attracted to, and he seems to be the same way about you. So it's just like acknowledging that you're like, oh, I'm in my head right now. Like, let me hop out. Like, that would be my
God, that did happen to me. We were trying to do a mutual masturbation the other day, and I got in my head and I couldn't do it while he was in the room. So I literally just went, I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with you. I am so in my head. Can you just go into the bathroom for like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And he did. And I was like, was that weird or wrong? And it was like, no, it just happened. And he was like, okay, bye.
Yeah. I think these are all like I think you have a very good problem on your hands, honestly.
Yes. And you're hot. You could be having all of this and be ugly, but it's like, no, you're doing fine.
Stop. Kelsey, you're making me blush.
It's just true. And thanks for picking up. This was like an unexpectedly super fun dating no filter.
This is a glitch. I'm being butt dialed by my favorite podcast that I literally just finished the episode while doing the dishes.
Oh my God, we love. So do you think, was that sage dating no filter advice? Anything else?
It was kosher advice, and I think it's very practical advice. So the mindfulness of sex, I think, is something that I am maybe needing to spend more time minding, if you will.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you're young. You're so young. You're gonna do like great. God, you're worlds ahead of where I was at.
Practice makes perfect, is what I say. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, well, thank you so much, Kendall. It was so fun talking to you. Thanks for picking up and being a confidant.
Of course, you guys just made my life. I love you both.
Bye, we love you.
That was God. That was okay. And also, I was taking my mic down so I could like hold it for you, but then I realized it wasn't going to go like that.
That was so fun.
It really, Kendall also like
Kendall
I'm not blowing smoke up her butt. Like she seems so fun, cool and fun and nice and chill and like a good conversationalist.
Oh
like, you should have had her as your guest.
Oh my God,
instead
I'm
of me.
never gonna hear the end of this. You're so fearful that you're the.
Well, I almost asked her like,
do you like the podcast?
Yeah, do you like the pod?
To put her on the spot like that.
I know, but sometimes you got to like just push the pus out.
We were talking too much about pimples this morning for you to just bust out that reference without the acknowledgement of our pimple popping behavior.
Push the puss out.
There you go. Okay, now that we've done that, let's get into this week's topic.
I'm so excited because Kelsey tried to tell me what it was, and I literally was like,
And
she's
I
like,
said,
does that make
"Shut
sense?" I was like, yeah, but like I'd like huge question mark at the end of it.
First, I was like, let's do something around Women's Month. And then I texted him. I said, we're going to do we're going to do intentional cold exposure.
Oh
and
my God.
Zach
Like,
said, what?
they'd be like, oh yeah, that's such a women's topic. And you're like, I said this is a weird one. Because mind you, before this, I had pitched 2 ideas. And she was like, no, women. No, women.
Yeah, they were.
They were from our list.
I know, but we got to go through that list again because we have better ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode topic is for you. If you want to learn how to build resilience in stressful situations,
Ooh.
you can use this to actually help manage your panic attack. So if you have panic disorder, if you want to boost your metabolism, if you want to help your body with chronic inflammation or chronic pain, and overall just become a fucking badass.
You also forgot lower your energy bill. Because it's true. I'm not wrong.
Sure.
I'm not wrong.
Okay. Don't Google
I have
it.
a gas water heater, and if I were taking cold showers, I would not be using hot water, would not be using gas.
Okay, so here's the topic, Zachary. Intentional cold exposure is exactly what you were just saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
People think cold showers, jumping into an ice lake,
Yes,
or cold plunges, which is something I've talked briefly about on the pod, but also I Instagram a lot about the cold plunges that I do, where it's like literally getting in like an ice bath or a freezing cold tub. This is cold is what they have been able to say is a measurable scientific stimulus. It is an extreme measurable scientific stimulus. So L2L, we love to learn.
love to learn.
This is very sciencey, but I'm going to break it down.
Okay. Wait, can you give an example of another measurable stimulus?
So
Like
I think
pain?
like
No.
adrenaline.
Okay.
Probably heat.
Okay.
Like
I'm trying to
what
think
it
a
does.
stimulus is, like something that stimulates.
Yeah. So I think like adrenaline.
Okay.
Okay. So with cold exposure, you are training resilience, which you think like that sounds stupid and live, laugh, lovey. Like, oh, you're going to get better. You're going to get more resilient doing
No,
this.
I'm on board.
No, this is actually scientifically measurable resilience in this manner. Okay. So what is it when we are exposing ourselves to cold? We're mostly going to be thinking about like 3 different ways here. Like we said, getting into an ice bath or a cold plunge, cold showers, or exposing yourself in really cold weather, like a snowy climate.
They're also in spas. They have cold rooms where it's like a walk-in freezer.
So think of whenever we're talking about intentional cold exposure, that's what we mean. We don't mean like going outside and being like, "Bear, it's cold. I need a jacket."
Giving
it's
someone
like,
the cold shoulder.
ooh, being an icy bitch.
Yeah.
No, this is like you're setting out time to do this as if
Intentionally.
it's like, part of your wellness practice. So when we expose ourselves to cold, we are dealing with epinephrine and norepinephrine.
Love her movies.
Which is very important in balancing like mood, health. We'll talk more about epinephrine and norepinephrine. But I wanted to start with a little pop quiz question for you.
Okay.
If you were running in the desert, so hot, you finally get to the finish line of whatever the desert finish line is.
It's a race. Did I have to pay? Did I have to register? Do I have a number? I paid to do this?
You're number 3.
What?
Yeah.
But I'm in last place.
Yes. You get across the finish line. Someone hands you a freezing cold towel.
Uh-oh.
Where would you place the towel?
In the back of my neck.
Instinctually. Okay. I also thought back of the neck.
But I don't know if that's instinctively because I think I've learned that you're supposed to put cold on the back of your neck.
To cool down, right?
Yeah.
So that's what the misleading thing is, right? So I thought top of the head because I remember saying hearing escapes from the top of your head. That is actually wrong. So by putting it on the back of your neck or your top of your head, draping it like across your face, like squeezing water all over yourself, that can actually make your core temperature hotter.
Because it tries to cool you down?
Because it thinks
heats you up?
Yeah. So it's like if you put a bag of ice on like an air conditioning unit.
Okay.
So an air conditioner works by testing the environment around you. If it's not cold enough, it'll make it colder. But it's like if you put an ice pack on top of an air conditioning unit, it's going to be like, oh, it's cold here. I need to heat it up more.
Oh.
So by putting it on those places, you're actually causing your body to go, hey, this is too cold. Go send more heat to yourself.
So what you want to do is throw it away and slap the person. Are you trying to kill me?
Exactly. No, the best places to put it are palms of your hands.
Okay.
Soles of your feet.
Okay.
And the chunky part above your cheeks where
my eyeball.
Your skin is really thick right here, like where you put blush. So if you want to cool down without sending wrong signals to your brain, that's where you would put it. Why are you massaging?
I have a really
your
funny
eyeballs?
sidebar.
Okay.
I went to my Botox lady and this is the thing. I'm not doing this voice at all, but English is a second language for her.
Uh-huh.
And she goes, what about your hollow eyes? Do you like your hollow eyes? And I went, my what? And she's like, you see how it dips? You have hollow eyes.
God.
And I went, oh, no, I like them for now.
The number one thing they teach you when you become that kind of doctor is you never specify the problem. You go, what do you want to do today?
Yeah.
Or tell me what you don't like about
No,
your
she
face.
asked. She asked.
Well,
But she's an upseller.
You
She
know
almost
what?
got me to get filler, and I was like,
no, don't get filler because it can get shelfy right there.
Dude, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
I'm a little scared of Botox at this point, just because I think I get droopy.
They might be doing it in the wrong spot.
Fuck.
You need to go to my girl.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay,
sorry.
so back to the cold, right? Okay, so people ask, how long do I need to be in the cold to see any benefits?
2 minutes.
So the answer is 11 minutes over a week period. So 7 days. So you could do 2 minutes one day, 3 minutes the other day, 2 minutes one day. And you're increasing your chances of all of these things we talked about, lowering pain levels, better pain management, resilience, helping with panic attacks, boosting your metabolism by a lot of percent.
Resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the TikTok I saw about this was that it's like manufactured struggle where you're like showing because we're in constant state of flux and trying to level out all the time. So like by putting yourself through this like duress, you get out of it and you're like you feel like relief.
I'm so glad you asked this or said this. So this is something that I thought was really fascinating because I've been doing cold plunges and I had never heard about this part of it. And I fucking hate doing it. I hate doing it
Cold plunges?
every single time. And I love how I feel after.
Yeah.
I hate doing a 3-minute cold plunge. And I live for the feeling that I feel after.
Yeah.
So what they're finding is people are saying, how cold do I need it to get? And the answer is everybody's different. You have to consult your doctor. We're not physicians. We just L2L.
You love it. You love L2L.
I do love L2L.
She made fun of me when I
did.
pitched it.
It needs to be cold enough to where you're uncomfortable, where you're like, I wish I could get out, but you're safe. So
that's why I don't think ice baths are good.
You can get
it
pretty
feels
low.
I mean, it feels...
You should feel like you want to get out.
Right. Okay.
So like for me, ice baths literally feel painful for a minute and then I kind of go numb. And then it's all mental. But like the first minute and a half is like absolute hell on earth.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the first thing we're talking about. Cold showers is absolutely the best place to start. That's where I started.
That's what I do now.
So it's putting your level of shower heat. Like you don't have to immediately scald it down to cold. You can just like slowly turn it to cold.
Yeah.
Stand there for 3 minutes, get used to it, and like you end on cold. But this is what I loved finding out about the like manufactured stress, exactly what you were saying. So undoubtedly before or during cold exposure, you find your mind will push back against the challenge. Your mind will say, I really don't want to do this even before getting in, or get me out of here.
Yeah.
You can imagine these mental barriers as walls. These walls are, in fact, the effects of adrenaline pulses in your body and brain, which in this case is what triggers the eventual adaptive response. After all, if it were easy, then there is no stimulus for your body to change or adapt to.
Yeah.
By maintaining top-down control of your reflexive urge to exit the cold environment, you will have successfully traversed that wall. So challenge yourself by counting walls and setting a goal of how many walls to traverse each time, like during the round of cold exposure. So for me, one wall is even getting there.
Okay.
Another wall is getting in.
Yeah.
Another wall is staying beyond 30 seconds.
Okay.
So I can prep myself and go, if I can get through those 3 walls, I will have a better shot of reaching my goal of 3 minutes total. And you're kind of like prepping your mind to know that you will still have an effect from this.
Wow.
And what cold does is that it releases dopamine once we are in cold exposure, intentional cold exposure.
Okay.
Dopamine, a lot of people get confused with like
Serotonin?
the feel-good drug. Yeah, dopamine actually controls our energy, focus, and motivation. So like when you do cold exposure, you should then follow it up like with something that you want to get done. So like for me, it's writing the book.
You know what? You also feel like taking on the world.
You feel fucking limitless.
You're like, oh.
Yes. So dopamine, that is the main reason why people do cold exposure. There's a lot of health benefits. Like we'll talk about the boosting of the metabolism. We'll talk about
saving money on your gas bill.
But the most common reason why everyone falls in love with intentional cold exposure is because of that dopamine release. Our brain is able to
be like, oh, yum yum,
to say yum yum. There was this study from a scientist at Harvard that also helped people get sober by doing cold plunges, because the dopamine that is released after intentional cold exposure is of the same levels that addicts feel during use of drugs. So it's not necessarily like redirecting addiction, but like it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's why a lot of drug addicts or alcoholics become addicted to sugar.
Same. Me.
Yeah.
There was a 530% increase in a stress chemical for people that were in 57-degree water for an hour, which is fine. Like you could do 57 degrees. That's not freezing.
Yeah.
It'll be uncomfortable, but you could do it. And
I feel like that's like standard pool temperature.
Yeah, exactly. And they saw a 250% increase in dopamine. And that dopamine level of 250% lasted beyond 2 hours after the cold exposure was done.
Wow.
So you're not only just suffering for 3 minutes, you're getting those benefits.
But they were in it for an hour?
Yeah, that was for the Harvard study. But that's also for like that's at 57 degrees. So when you do like a 35,
more intense.
Yeah, you're getting the same results. This is the big like bing 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 for us about this. There is in intentional cold exposure, there is no significant increase of cortisol, which is bad stress. So a minute ago when I said there was an increase in the stress chemical, like when you get in, this is not cortisol. Cortisol is what spikes your
fight or flight.
Yes, and then you crash afterwards.
They say you shouldn't drink coffee on an empty stomach because it spikes cortisol.
I learned that from My Favorite Murderer.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, Zach's friend.
Oh my God.
I listened to an episode because I was like, I want to hear what Zach's like friend sounds like. Yeah. And
did you like it?
I learned that on that episode.
It's a good podcast. It's a really good podcast.
Exactly. So by doing this, you're thinking like, why would I put myself in intentional stress?
Right.
This is not something that's going to be unhealthy for you.
Right.
It's not building your cortisol up. It is releasing the norepinephrine and epinephrine, that is how you're building resilience. So that each time your body gets up to that level of stress now in the real world, when you get an email that you weren't expecting, you get a text with bad news, your boss yells at you, your boyfriend picks a fight with you, you're already training yourself to be able to
handle it.
Yes.
I love that.
So when I was first starting to get into cold plunges, it was because of my panic disorder. It wasn't because of my, I don't know, Instagram aesthetic or desire to like look cool. It was because
look cool.
My friend told me
cool.
My friend told me about this process where if you can train essentially your body to reach these levels,
to know what duress feels like.
Exactly. And to feel safe, to know that you're safe from it.
And that it's going to end.
And that it's going to end, and that you can then have this kind of sort of high afterwards. When you get into those situations, like when I feel fight or flight now, I feel it way more intensely. I kind of go, oh, there's that guy. There's that person.
You don't feel it as intensely.
I don't feel it as intensely because my body's like, this ain't a cold plunge. We ain't freaking out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh no. Oh, wow. That is very, very cool.
Yes. And so like I said, the easiest way to start is not by jumping into like a cryo chamber, which I love, but it's not very accessible for people, and it's not, they haven't done a ton of studies on it, but like starting in a cold shower is the best way to do this, and like working your way up to 11 minutes a week, 11 minutes a week, 11 minutes a week, 11 minutes a week. That's the goal, is to feel the benefits of this kind of stuff.
Do you know by chance, because I've been ending my hot showers with a minute of cold. Do you think it's better to start with the cold, end with the cold?
End with a cold,
Okay.
because once you go back to warm, which is kind of the one complaint about sauna plunges, is they're like, you're not receiving the full effects by going directly back into heat
you're
afterwards.
supposed to like reheat yourself.
So that's the other thing, is that it says to let your body's core temperature reheat itself.
Wow.
So that has a whole bunch of benefits now, going into talking about the metabolism factor of this. We don't really care about, like, I kind of don't care about the metabolism factor.
I do.
Thank you.
I'll throw us under the bus.
Yeah, throw us under the bus.
We're
This
not
is
saying
healthy.
we're not saying starve yourself and then put yourself in the freezer.
No, but
if you want
to, it showed that by cold exposure for 11 minutes a week helps show, or it showed more burning of brown fat.
Oh my God.
You heard about it
I know
on TikTok,
about brown fat.
right?
But I heard it's primarily in babies, and babies don't shiver because
Yes.
they're burning brown fat.
Yes. Oh my God. So shivering is part of the mechanism of like getting to that part of shivering when you get out.
And then
because
if you stop shivering, it'll burn the fat.
it burns it less intensely.
Got it.
So doing cold exposure period is going to help burn brown fat. And brown fat is basically the type of fat cells that are what you burn to lose weight. So white fat is kind of like really hard to break through.
White fat is the worst.
Yeah, we hate white fat. But brown fat is more easily broken down in the body.
Fascinating.
So cold exposure converts white fat into beige fat cells, or even brown, which are metabolically active. So brown fat burns more calories easily, and brown fat also helps the white fat.
So it browns the white fat.
Yes.
It like starts to break it down or whatever.
Yeah.
So you should do a cold plunge and then go work out.
So the only thing, yes. So instead of, some people do cold plunges after they work out, and they're saying that that's not actually like the better way to do it.
Right.
It's to do it before.
Although if you're lifting weights, much like the other thing you said, has burns for like hours after.
And so that's the other thing, right? Is like some people will argue or point out like things in this that are like, well, but this does this. And it's like, yeah, but you're still getting the other benefits we're talking
it's
about.
like, shut up.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
Please shut up. Don't talk to me.
So the other thing about I just had
Brown
brain
fat?
fart. Yes,
Or
brown
working
fat.
out or metabolic rates.
I can't remember.
That sucks. You
Yeah.
can't remember.
Something about brown fat thermogenesis.
Oh, yeah.
Shivering.
Okay.
So shivering, when you're at that level of cold, releasing all these chemicals, it releases what they found to call succinate from the muscles, and that's what activates the brown fat thermogenesis, which is breaking down the brown fat.
Fascinating.
So again, we're not doing this. We're not telling you to do this for like weight loss or like boosting your metabolism, because that's like the least desired effect out of everything I get.
Yeah, it's the intentional distress.
Yes, is exactly why I do it.
So it's totally, this is like a mental health thing for you.
Hundo %.
And you know what I love about this?
Huh.
Oh, I'm going to say this boldly. We all have access to cold water.
Yeah.
You know?
And like even going outside when it's cold in like a tank top or a bikini and doing it that way.
I didn't even think about that.
That's the most accessible way.
Oh my God. Okay, so first time I've ever been jealous of the Midwest.
Ever. But here's the caveat is that.
And I grew up there, so I can say that.
Yeah. You don't want to cover a bunch of parts of your body. So you don't want to put on like shoes.
So you want to do like underwear.
Yes.
And flip-flops?
Or just barefoot.
Oh, foot to the ground.
So when you're doing cold plunges, the reason why an ice bath is like technically better than doing cold showers is because you're getting all the way up to
fully
your neck.
Submerged.
Yeah.
Cold shower,
like
it's like
shower,
I have to wiggle around.
Some people don't put their head under. I put my head
definitely
under.
have to put your head under.
And then the rest of my body doesn't get as cold because it's all on my head.
Yeah.
So those are like your tips for starting, is like start in your cold shower. There's no reason why you can't. And then try going outside in the cold weather.
Yes.
And then go try a cold plunge. That's my like soft launch into
I
this
love
movement.
the concept of a bunch of confidants or tower bottoms like going out and getting arrested for being in their underwear on their
and you're
front
screaming,
lawn.
"It's for my mental health." I really like I wanted to do a whole episode on this, because this is something that when I tell you, like, it has helped me so fucking much. Like when I first did my first cold plunge, I was like with a group of people. Everyone went in and did 3 minutes. Every person from
who had to drink the water at the end.
You're sick. That's a different club I'm a part of. Like, no matter their fitness level, they went in and they did it. And I was like, oh, well, if this person can do it, I can do it. Which is, I'm sure, fat phobic somewhere in me.
They should put a lid on it with a head hole to make people stay.
I mean, I got in and I lasted 15 seconds. I was the only person who couldn't do 3 minutes.
Wait, really?
Yes, the first time I did it. And I was so mad and pissed and upset.
Wait, what was going through your head? Like you were in pain?
Yes,
or what?
My body went into fight or flight. I freaked out and I got out. And I couldn't take it.
So unlike you.
It was so fucking cold. It was 35 degrees. I was frozen. And that was like definitely jumping into the extreme end.
Did it have ices in it? Ice cubes? No, it was just
no,
cold water.
it was like a backyard freezer that you sat in. Like, you know, one of those freezers that open horizontally.
It didn't even have water?
No, it did.
Okay.
But it was self-cooling. So there was no ice. And then the freaks of nature would go all the way underwater and breathe through a straw. A bamboo straw.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
did you do that thing in like drug awareness class where you had to jump up and down and then try to breathe through a coffee straw?
No.
Oh my God. They were like, this is what it's like to be a smoker.
Ew. But also good.
Yeah.
I hate smoking, as we know on this podcast.
Apparently smoke makes jizz taste bad.
I believe it.
Like smokers' jizz.
I believe it.
Anyway, that's been the pod.
So my question is, will you come do a cold plunge with me?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Ooh.
Yeah. I like
Maybe we'll go this week coming up and we can take the Instagram with us and take some videos trying it.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Sure. Wait, is it at a facility or a backyard with a freezer on it?
I think I'm going to get a freezer for my backyard to do it.
No, you're not.
I almost said his name.
Rrr.
Said he would get me one for the holidays last.
Wait.
holiday.
Is it really just a freezer?
Yes.
Or is it like for the intention of cold plunges?
They have those.
But you're just getting a freezer.
Yeah.
And hopefully taking
Like
the
off
door off
Amazon.
because like
Yeah.
I don't want you to get locked in and drown.
I'll show you. It's very easy to do. to convert. There's a ton of YouTube videos too if you want to make your own self plunge.
We did not say that though,
No.
because I don't
Start
want
with
anyone.
a shower.
Yeah, just
see if you like it first.
No, well, no, you're not gonna like it.
Well, yeah, but you know you're not gonna like it. Remember, practice getting over those walls.
Be aware of how you feel after.
Yes, and my other tip, which is so annoying, is focus on your breathing, because everyone, no matter how good you are at cold plunging, you could be freaking Iceman for all I care. Biologically, your breath does shorten and quicken when you get in cold plunge. So mine is focused on the breath. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Also, just like be like, say like you can do it.
I also
like,
say
that's
everything is temporary.
Yeah, that's like the thing of it. You're like,
Yeah.
if this is, it's like that. Could you do it for $1 million? It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, tell yourself like
This is for $1 million.
This is for $1 million. And
I
mental
can't
health wise,
wait.
it probably is.
I can't wait to see you do it.
Oh no.
I can't wait.
Do you say that thinking I'm gonna fail?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
But I'm gonna like
projection.
scream or something.
Yeah. And I put on a Bluetooth speaker, so we put on some like crazy
I thought it was because
music.
I was being kind of cocky.
No, you were giving good advice, but
Yeah.
for someone who's never done it.
I did the cold.
No, you do cold showers all the time.
And I've done the cold plunge at like a where Sir and my ex went.
Oh, Century Spa?
They have a freezing.
Oh, great.
Maybe
we should
cold
just go
tub.
do that.
And they have a cold walk-in.
I want to go to the walk-in freezer.
But people bounce from the hot tub to the cold tub, hot tub,
yeah,
cold tub.
which
But
that's
they're
what
saying
I
don't.
do. Well, it's really
cheating.
hard. It's not cheating. It's just you're getting the metabolic boost that way. And if you don't care about that part, then get back in the sauna. Who cares?
Okay.
Confidants, go buy a sticker.
Go buy a sticker. I'm going to upload Tower Bottom merch. So, like, I like the concept of being confidants and tower bottoms or confident bottoms.
Confident bottoms.
Kelsey
was
came
my
up with
pitch.
that.
So we'll make a sticker that says that.
Confident bottoms is so even though I totally lose my name in it, I think confident bottom. You're right. Confident bottom is so funny.
I mean, my name's not in the first one.
Is your middle name not confidant?
Shut the fuck
Kelsey Confidant.
Confidants, that's it. Let me know if you're gonna try cold exposure. Let me know if you do your shower and if
rate
you
the
like
pod,
it.
but
Rate
only
the
5
pod.
stars.
Because why?
We're sensitive.
If not, don't rate it at all. And we will see you guys next year.
Bye, Kendall.